Hey everybody, today we're going to be covering the pros and the cons about living here in Houston, specifically here in the Houston Heights. Now, if that's what you're here for, stick around. We're going to be getting after it right now. I'm Kerry Fletcher, local realtor right here in Houston, Texas, part of the Mims Group. My wife, Drew Mims, I'm Kerry. Together we're Drew Kerry. A little bit funny, but makes it easy to remember. Now this channel is anything and everything about what's it like to live, eat, sleep, drink, having that Houston, specifically that Houston inner loop lifestyle. If that's what you're curious about, if that's what you want to know, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that little bell, that way you're notified every time we put out a new video. If you're thinking about moving here, anywhere in this great city of Houston, give us a call. Shoot us a text message, send us an email. Heck, if you want to, send us a note via Pony Express. We don't care. Whenever you're moving to Houston, we've got your back. So let's get into it. We're going to be talking about the pros and cons. Forgive me, I got a little bit of a cheat sheet here. Got a big brain, but I can't remember everything. I'm going to cover about 5, 6 little pros and then some cons. And I got to tell you, the last one is going to be like, what? I would have never thought of that, and it's going to be something that you need to know, okay, as far as the cons. First of all, the pros, walkability. And when I talk about walkability, there's a combination of sidewalks, the tree-lined streets, speed bumps throughout the heights, and also just this feel of people being able to feel comfortable walking in and around their neighborhood, whether it's the nighttime, the evening time, or walking around to a lot of the local shops. It is one of the most walkable, nice areas. Whenever you're driving around, it's not uncommon to see multiple families walking their kids, their dogs, walking as couples in and around all over. So it's a high rankability. Schools. So specifically the elementary schools and the junior high, and coming up the high school. My son's a junior at the local high school, Heights High School, and that, much like the neighborhood, is really in transition and turning into a great school, great bunch of kids. My son loves it. But specifically when we're talking about schools, you've got Travis Elementary School, Harvard Elementary School, which are highly sought after. There's a few others in there, but very highly ranked, highly sought after schools that feed into Hogg Middle School and Hamilton Middle School. But overall, within HISD and within Houston, the public schools are really great. Shopping. So you've got, whether it's along that 7th Avenue and Yale, whether it's along 19th and 20th Street, whether it's along that Shepherd corridor, you've got some of the best shopping, whether it's food shopping, grocery shopping, whether it's Warby Parker. You know, if there's a new concept shop or a high-end shop that's going to be coming in here to Houston, it's going to land here in the Houston Heights first. This is what you call the most trendy, the most hip area within Houston, and a lot of high-end or modern high-end realtors want to land their test and their concept shops here. So shopping is fantastic. Not only that, but what also, when it comes to shopping, that makes Houston so unique is you have all these great little local mom and pop shops, whether it's mom and pop bakeries, whether it's mom and pop art, either to go in and do your own art, to buy art, to display both statues. And I'm going to send some links down to Ryan Palmer Art, Little Bunny jewelry store, and some of the other local artisan shops that you've got around here, the Heights Grocer. And so it doesn't matter whether you want the high-end trendy or you want the local, this is the place for any and all kind of shopping here in the Houston Heights. Restaurants, bars. The Houston Heights area has every kind of bar, restaurant known to man. It's got everything, stuff that you can't find anywhere else. So Houston is, for those of you who don't know, one of the most culturally and economically diverse cities in the world. And not only that, but you have just this conglomerate around local foods and local foodies. So there's one restaurant that's here in Houston, and particularly in the Houston Heights, called BB's Cafe. It was established by a local University of Houston grad, high school friend, or a friend, hometown friend of mine and my family's, Brooks Bosler. And he took this concept of, what do you have around here? A lot of seafood, a lot of Cajun cooking, but then you also have this Tex-Mex Southwest. And he put together this Tex-Mex Southwest blend with combining it in with some of that Cajun seafood and spices. And man, you can't get it anywhere else. And their headquarters and their main restaurant is right here in the Houston Heights. Another one of the pros is convenience, the commute. Oh, man, you know, you can take an Uber to just about anywhere you want to go. You've got a short drive. We have a lot of friends that have chosen to live out in the burbs or live out there. And to be quite honest, when they come in and we go out to a restaurant, or we go out and do a happy hour, or we get together for a social gathering, they're just super jealous because, you know, for us, we can hit a designated driver, call one of our kids to come pick us up. It's super easy. For them, I mean, there's no way that you could afford the Uber bill. The Uber bill would be the most expensive, so they have to go through it. Who's going to be the designated driver? How late we're going to be able to stay out? None of that. You've got a great convenient area here. Also, when you're talking about commute, so Houston Heights is super easy to get down into the Med Center, get down into downtown. Easy access to, it's bordered by 610 to the north, I-45 to the east, I-10 to the south. So you can go from any one of these neighborhoods, hop onto one of those major thoroughfares, and it doesn't matter. You can go out to Energy Corridor, reverse commute. You can reverse commute out to Sugarland. You can reverse commute down into the Med Center, Greenway Plaza, you name it. You've got traffic in a big city is always going to be a little bit of trouble, but being located here in the Houston Heights is so convenient whenever you've got to commute, whenever you got to go around. Last couple of things I'm going to talk about is affordability. Now, when you talk about affordability from a price per square foot, or what do you get for your money, it's not going to compare to, you know, way out there in Cinco Ranch or, you know, Fulshire or something like that. But when you're talking about in that inner loop, the Houston Heights, what you get for your money, what you get as far as value, it's a good combination of that good inner loop living with some great affordability. And I touched on it on the cost of living video. I'm gonna put that up, cost of living video that my wife and I did. We talked about what a great investment the Heights has been. The value of land over the last 10 years has gone up over 100%. Housing 60-70%, something like that. So not only is it relatively affordable, but you're still getting great return on your investment over the longer period of time here in the Heights. And the last pro, I've seen this on blogs, I've talked to friends, everybody seems to have this same comment when they go and they try to describe the feel of the Heights when you're talking about Heights versus Houston. And everybody says, it feels like a small town in the middle of a big city. And that's exactly right. Whenever I go and ride the bike with the kids, or we go walk around the neighborhood, it feels like I'm back in my old hometown of Rockdale, Texas. No people, know the stores, know the store owners. You've got this small town feel, and then you just look up and you say, wow, okay, there's downtown right there, just a stone's throw away. Oh wow, there's 610 Loop, and you sometimes forget that you're right in the middle of the fourth largest metropolitan area, the fourth largest city in the United States. So those are the pros. Now, what everybody's been waiting for, oh, it's so great, what are all the cons? Because so many people want to live here, and because it's an older area. If you go back to one of my other videos, it talks about it was established in the 1800s, it's expanded and sort of hit its peak in the 1930s, 40s, 50-ish time frame. Well, parking is a concern. Narrow streets are a concern. So, parking, narrow streets is an issue. It's not going to be like the burbs. Sometimes you have to stop, pull over, let somebody else come through. Then if you're driving down some of these streets, a lot of people, like I said, walkability, there's a lot of people walking on those streets too. So if you think that you're just gonna blow through and cut through some of these neighborhoods, don't. You're gonna be driving through some narrow areas, roads. Okay. So this is hard to talk about as con versus for the Houston Heights, because really the Houston Heights has some of the better roads. But for those of you who don't know Houston, the roads are bad. I mean, it's just notorious. Wife and I were trying to do a vlog the other day, and we had the video stabilizer on the GoPro, and the whole time it was, rocking along like this. And you get kind of used to it. But if you've never been in a city, in an area like that where the roads are bad, it's going to be a bit of an eye-opener. So here's what the deal is first of all, we get a lot of rain, and then also we get a lot of dry spells. And Houston area has a lot of clay land, so we get a lot of shifting, sifting, as the water comes up and as the water comes down. So it's just really hard to maintain and keep all those. So road work is going to be a con. Another one is lack of public transportation. We've got an okay bus system. We don't have much of a light rail. We do have some that were put in for a Super Bowl a while back, but it's limited. So lack of public transportation, if you're coming from where they've got an extensive public transportation, then that's going to be a bit of a con. We love our cars here in the great state of Texas and the great city of Houston. Now the last con that most people don't realize or don't think about or don't think to think through is termites. So there's two types of termites, and we got both of them. First is the subterranean. So that's kind of what is natural here to Houston, and it's all over Houston. Everywhere you go in this whole area, subterranean. And subterranean termite, I'm not a termite expert, but I'm going to cover some basics. Subterranean, they require moisture and they require land to get in. You can have it inspected, you can have it treated, and they've got some treatments that will superpower and they'll last for a long time. When it comes to the heights, and it comes to a con specifically of the heights versus some of the other parts, is we have what's called drywood termites, and they fly. They don't require moisture and they don't require any kind of underground. What they do is they build up a colony, and once they get big enough, they'll swarm and they'll go from one house to the next. Now, they're not as, and again, I'm not an expert, but from what I've looked online, they're not as destructive, but it's a lot harder to treat them and make sure that they're gone. And it's something that you're just going to have to be aware of. Now, what can you do to avoid it? One, get it inspected ahead of time. Make sure that it's treated ahead of time and that treatment has some sort of warranty. And then also just maintain proactively every year the wood rot termites or the drywood termites. They tend to swarm in that summer months. So be sure that you're having your home inspected, that you have a treatment plan, a proactive treatment plan, and it's not, but it is a homeowner responsibility that you're going to have to maintain just to protect your asset. So don't want to scare anybody out there, but it is a con. It's one of the few cons that are specific, and I don't want to say specific to the Heights, but apparently the drywood termites are more prominent here in the Heights than they are in some of the other areas. Now, if I haven't scared you away talking about termites and narrow streets and parking, and if you're still all excited about coming here to Houston, hey, give us a call, send us an email, shoot us that text message, send us that note via Pony Express, any which way. We can't wait to meet you. We can't wait to help you find your little great piece of heaven here in Houston. See you next time.